Have you ever been really concerned about the fact that your web page seems to be loading really slow? Or maybe you've got Search Console and it keeps saying that you've got these URLs with issues, red issues that keep coming up because your website is loading too slow. Or maybe you've got a server that you think was okay, but now they're suggesting you need a CDN server. What does that mean? And is it possible that you could be using lots and lots of different plugins and making all these optimizations to your website, and yet you're still not getting a particularly high ranking on Google page speed? Well, I found a plugin that replaces all those other plugins. It's really simple to install, it's free, and it took my ranking, as I'll share my video now, for live when I took it, from around about 10 on page speed. I managed with plugins to get up to about 30. This took it through the Richter scale. So make sure you don't miss this. Welcome to my video. So I'm Zane from Zanet Design, and I help small businesses grow on the internet. So make sure you subscribe below, and then you'll benefit and not miss out on my next video tip or trick. Now I've got a really special one for you today, because if you're like most web design owners, you notice that you get speed issues. Maybe you get reports through analytics, through Google Search Console, or maybe if you've just done a page speed test on Insights or GT Metrics, you'll know that actually having a fast loading page on your website is important, particularly on a mobile. Well, I'm going to show you how you can do that for free as I jump in now. So often the reason you find that there's an issue is on your Google Search Console or your analytics or whatever. If you do a page speed test, you just notice things perhaps don't seem to be loading as fast as Google would like. And in this case here, I can see that I've got these errors that now are showing since this new update on Google Search Console. And in the past, I've tried to just work out what it is that these issues are. So just looking through here, basically they want mobiles to load under 4 seconds now. That's the kind of the new criteria from Google. So you notice when it's green, it's implying I think it's under 2 seconds, which is good. But I've gone from green to a bit of red, I've then gone to amber, and then I seem to be constantly red now. So from Google's point of view, whether I'm desktop or whether I'm mobile, I'm now currently in the red. So I'm not really hitting the ideal factors that Google set for a website. And I've removed a lot, and I've also added a lot of plugins to try and help resolve this. So this is where this new plugin is going to be really helpful, and you'll see the advantage. But let's just first analyze then what these issues are. So if I open the report, for example, here, it's telling me that it's analysing, and basically 95 pages are not hitting a certain criteria. It's saying it's a poor URL, and in effect it gives you some information here that it's taking longer than 4 seconds. Now, a bit of detail tells us that when Google talks about speed times, it's particularly referring to the way in which it loads or keeps the person aware that the website is loading. So it's known as an LCP, the largest contentful paint. And it's just really to hold the attention of someone. And Google's obviously said that if it's under 2 seconds, an LCP, or 2.5 seconds, that's considered good. And that's what we're aiming for. We want green. I've been hitting just under 4 seconds when it went amber, and now I'm over 4 seconds. So that basically explains why, if I go back to these here, this is under 2 seconds, this is under 4 seconds, this is now over 4 seconds, and this is constantly over 4 seconds. So that's just the loading time, how it's viewed from a person that arrives. And it's basically the idea is if someone lands on your website, if it hasn't loaded so that they've got something meaningful to look at within 4 seconds, then they'll bounce, they'll go away. So what I've done in the past is I've run page speed, which is the way in which Google wants us to look at your website, particularly on a mobile. So this is a mobile page speed. So my rating here of 10 is appalling. It's wanting me to hit around 90 to 100. And that's not for a lack of trying. If I was to go to my website, I'll show you some of the things I've done. Here's a list of the plugins. So I've used in the past, I've used Asset Cleanup, Page Speed Booster, Auto Optimize, Smush for reducing images, and W3 Total Cache for my caching. And all these things are being used, but actually with the new plugin, none of them are needed because it does all of them in one plugin for free. And it's NitroPack. And that's what I wanted to introduce to you. And it basically analyzes, so you can put your website in here before you even use the plugin. And it will then give you the score. So like with me, it gave me 10 for mobile. It gave me 27 for desktop. So I put my website into that area there, and it said that basically from that 10 and 20, it would go up to greens like 98, 96, as these are just others that have tried in recent moments. So basically making every website hit all the metrics that Google's after. So I had to investigate that further. I had to find out, how do I get this plugin? So I added NitroPack as a WordPress plugin, and I went for, there's a few optimization modes. You can try strong or ludicrous to see what the option is. And by adding this plugin, then I needed to just make sure these were switched off, because in effect, they both do the same thing and they can clash. So I've deactivated these, I've activated this, and I've just allowed it to spider. It's just taken a few minutes now. So I'm interested to see, it claims when I went onto the website, it claimed here that it would take my 27 and my 10, which is appalling, and it would make them green. So I'll be interested to see if that's true. So anyway, so at the moment it's just spidering through, but it's already done several pages. I think it should be almost ready to go. So the idea then is just to make sure that your website still works well. So just make sure that nothing's broken, because obviously when you do make these changes, you will find that certain things may break, but that all appears to be working fine. I'll just try one more. So yeah, so there's no layout issues or anything at all. So you do need to just check that just in case. Okay, so at this point, I'm now ready to take the NitroPack. So I can see it's going through, it's optimizing certain pages and so on. So that's all good as well. And to actually integrate it into your website was pretty easy. All you needed just to make an account with them. You follow the whole of the process, and then it gives you this site ID and site secret. You put that into your plugin, and if you just follow literally as it tells you what to do, you don't need to have any programming knowledge. You don't need to understand about how to optimize things at all. Now let's see how we get on. So it claims it's going to make it green, so I'm going to try this. So what am I looking for before I press this? So I'm wanting to beat 10, and I'm wanting to beat 27. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but let's see. Wow, that's incredible. That is quite stunning. How's it done that? 99. Okay, desktop 95. So what it's doing is it's doing something really fast. It's producing something here just to make sure that it loads really quickly. So yeah, 1.1 second. And that's incredible. Look at that all along. Okay, so it does live up to its claim that it basically annihilates anything. So that is without any of my other plugins on. It's just the one plugin, and that has a massive impact on how Google views your site. Okay, so this is exciting, because that means then that I can now go back to here, and what you do is once you've obviously got that working, which it's now beginning to work, you need to let Google know that it needs to re-spider. So the way we do that is you click on Open Report, and you click on the issue, and you need to validate it. So we want to validate the fix. So it's saying this LCP issue longer than 4 seconds. Can we validate it? So let's try and validate it, which will be interesting because it's taken particularly this page here as an example, and similar ones as well, which imagine, yeah, okay. And it's taking it from Page Speed Insights. So maybe if I try and validate it now, because it hasn't indexed all these pages yet, it's still working through them, it may not be quite the case. And I've noticed that the LCP So it says LCP was 4.6 on this one. So I'm not sure that's the same metric as to what it's looking for, but I'm sure it'll tell me if it's not. So let's see. That's not on the mobile. Let's take it on the mobile. So 4.7. So this will be interesting to see how this works. So I'm going to validate the fix and see what happens. Okay, so it will now take, so Google doesn't do it straight away. It will now take into account. So by the time Google gets around to it, hopefully it will now find that all of these have been fixed. So hopefully that's been useful. It's NitroPack. You can just go to nitropack.io. You can download it there. It works with several shops as well. It seems to work really well, but I've only just tried it. And what I will say as well is back up your website before you try anything like this, just in case. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but let me know how things go. But obviously at the end of the day, any plugin that you try is at your own risk. But I've just tried it live in front of you and it seems absolutely fine so far. So that's the free version as well, which I do believe does put a little footer at the bottom if you want the free version. If you want the paid version, then it gives you a few more extra things as well. But on the whole, that's quite impressive if it means it gets you a decent score with Google. Speeds up your site, which means Google ranks you higher, which means that when visitors arrive, not only do they get a better experience on your website because it loads quicker, but also Google rates you higher because of you thinking and obviously sorting out any slow loading issues. So that's hopefully a really useful plugin. If you want to know more about ways to improve your business, then here's a couple more videos that I can see you over there on a new subject.